It's
really
amazing.
fun.
So let me take you back to the very beginning when I was just a kid. I loved water parks. I loved anything to do with water. I thought one day when I grow up, I want to build my own water park. I went to Home Depot and I bought a 10-foot pipe. I brought it home and I just remember thinking like, oh man, what's my mom going to think about me just bringing this big pipe home to her house, because I was living with my parents at the time. That 10-foot pipe was pretty fun, but it was just too short. So I went back to Home Depot and I bought 2 more 10-foot pipes and I connected all 3 of them together. I would slide all the way down them. I remember this one warm summer afternoon, this rain came in and I just was out in the backyard. I was just running and sliding I must have done it for like 2 hours. I was just having a great time, but it was just so challenging to make it all the way. So I thought, how can I make this thing better? And I envisioned the top of the pipe, but then having 2 flat surfaces on either side, one for the toes and one for the heels. I started buying fiberglass material online and I started by making this, what's called a plug. So it's like the base, it's made out of wood. And then on top of that, I would put this paint called gel coat. On top of that, I would put fiberglass and resin. And then I'd pop that plug out. And so I'd have a mold of that plug. And then I'd put more of that paint and then the resin and the fiberglass in that. And then I would pop out of that the final product. It's kind of like surfing. You get this wind in your face, you're just sailing along, the water's spraying up. And the cool thing is, you don't have to get down on your belly like a regular slip and slide. It was about this time, I was trying to come up with a name for this product. So I asked my dad, I was like, hey dad, what do you think we should call this? And I'll never forget, he kind of thought for a moment and he looks at me and he goes, FootSlide. And I was like, that's it, I like that name. FootSlide it is. My next step was I went on LegalZoom and I paid between $3,000 and $4,000 for a patent. And it was great. I mean, they really took care of everything for me. They did the research for me. They did the drawings for me. They applied for me. I think if I have kind of like a basic patent in the future, I'd definitely go through them again. My brother was a pastor at the time, and at his church, he had an artist that he recommended to me. So I paid this artist $100 and he came up with the FootSlide logo. And honestly, I think it was amazing. It was around this time that I was getting my MBA and I presented FootSlide in one of my classes and a student got real excited about it. And I remember he goes, hey, have you ever thought about making this thing flexible so that you can just roll it out and roll it in? And I was like, no, I've never thought about that. But I like that idea because with the fiberglass version, it's hard, it's rigid, and I think I could really only sell it to water parks. Whereas if I made like a flexible version that you can roll up and roll out, then I could sell it to anybody. So I started researching different chemicals. And I found this one called polyurethane. One of the early ones I tested was this blue one. I just poured it in the regular fiberglass mold that I had been using already. When I took it out, I tested it and it was great. So the next step was to make an actual like long one of those. So I went ahead and started creating a mold, an 8-foot long mold out of fiberglass that I was gonna fill with this polyurethane and be able to test it better. This was a challenge because, having a long mold like that, it could be uneven. So what I did is I strung it up on these little stands. I filled it with water, put some food coloring in there to test for leaks, and also just to make sure that I had the thing leveled out properly. Once that was complete, I drained the water and I filled it with that polyurethane. I asked Luke to help me make a little promo video for it. So him and I went in the front yard and Luke's a great actor. So him and I just goofed around and we made this pretty cool video. Good morning. I'm starting my morning now like I wish all of my mornings would start out, and that is with my beautiful wife, and we're having a little devotion, reading some scripture. And today's a special day because, yep, that's the book. We are doing our promo shoot today. Exciting. Voila, look at that. We've already blown this up. I woke up at 6:30 this morning. People are going to be coming over soon, and yeah, I am so excited. I'm definitely, last night I had a good dream about it. The last few nights I was kind of nervous, so I kind of had some poor night sleeps, but I'm definitely had a good night last night, and I'm definitely ready for it. Hey Dad, what do you think of the pool?
I know, right?
Oh, don't fall in. Careful. All the equipment out. Shem's over, bought his nice equipment, and we're gonna test out our drone. Kyler, what was your name again? Anthony and Colin here.
Aw, hi guys.
Because Colin was actually, his mom was my physical therapist.
Oh, nice.
And she told me that she had these kids that like would love to do like try FootSlide out, and so contacted her. I was like, we got to get them out here. We need a promo shoot. So
yes.
Happy that they're out here.
Love it.
Slide your way into summer with the all-new FootSlide, the world's first stand-up water slide. There's nothing that beats the feeling of sliding fast on your feet. Wait a minute, is this a slip and slide, you might ask? No way! Slip and slides are for your gut. Anyone, including a toddler, can slide on their gut. FootSlide is designed with an arch in the center to guide your feet along its path, but it still takes balance and skill. It's kinda like wakeboarding but on land. It's kinda like snowboarding without snow. It's kinda like, well, awesome. Purchase FootSlide today by following the link in the description. Use promo code SLIDE to save $10 off your order. Remember, with FootSlide, you can slide standing up.
I shared it with a mentor at the time, and he told me to manufacture it, that I should do a process called plastic extrusion. This is a process where they make like a shape of your final product, and then they melt this plastic down and force it through that into the final shape that you want. So I started traveling around to local plastic extrusion manufacturers in the area and just getting some prices on it. And I was a bit surprised because they wanted around $9,000 just for the tooling. And then it was gonna cost around $4 a foot just to manufacture it. So in order to raise the funding for the manufacturing, I took that promo video and I created a Kickstarter campaign around it. Unfortunately, it didn't get funded. I think I had only about 300 page views. And looking back, I think a big hindrance was the fact that it was pretty expensive. You know, I was charging about $69 per slide for 15 feet. And honestly, I think that was just too much. Just too much. Too much. Too much. Too much.
We're just getting ready here to show FootSlide. We didn't exactly ask permission, so hopefully it's gonna be okay. But there's like a ton of kids over there, you can't really see. But we're like, it's a perfect age group. So yeah, we're just getting it ready. Here he goes. Dun, dun, dun. So Philip has got the hose out and he's connecting it in front of this awesome place. And he's ready. Here he goes. Woo, nice, babe. This is a perfect place to do it. There's a lot of people. Nice. Looking good. Good one, babe. Oh gosh. Oh goodness. We'll hear it. They're enjoying it. Pretty awesome. Got a line going. Nice. Got some cheers.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Line's getting longer. They're very interested. They said they wanted to purchase.
What do you guys think about this?
It's really
amazing.
fun, dude. I want one of these. They're so
Right, for Christmas birthdays, I would definitely want one of these.
Yeah.
Like, I have a slip and slide, that's just on your gut. This is different. I would so love one. I was like, with my foot under.
Yeah, it
just feels so real. It's like skateboarding.
It's like a slip and slide but for older kids. Yeah. Yeah.
If you like wakeboarding, you'll love this.
Yeah, dude. Skimboarding.
Would you guys buy one?
It's so awesome. Give me a kiss. Mwah. So good.
FootSlide was a success. We took it out and we shared it with the high school kids and some junior high kids, and they loved it. And I was so nervous going out there. I didn't even vlog it because I was like, why would I vlog myself looking like a fool? I thought it was gonna be rejected. I thought we were gonna be a laughing stock. I was like, we're gonna try this. And people loved it.
Yes, I was saying like that was by far the most encouraging thing for us. Like, sure, we've had people express interest, but these kids, like, we said nothing. We just rolled it out and got it ready. And
woo, baby, top 6. Woo!
watch the video and celebrate.
Top 6. Woo! Mom, top 6. Wow! Look. Dad, top 6. Molly, give me a high 6.
What is that? High 6! Oh, nice one. Bubbly, bubbly. Ooh.
So what's the top 6, Phil? So the top 6 is we made it into the top 6 finalists in a Viola startup competition. That's the school that Molly and I and Luke is going to right now.
Or we finished.
We are competing against other startup businesses. And the first place gets 15,000. Second place, I don't remember, like maybe 10,000, or the third 5,000, something like that. And I could be wrong, but we're pretty excited. I know the first place gets 15,000. And last year we tried it, and we got knocked out like the first round. We didn't even make it this far. I think because they just didn't understand what it was. So this time around, we put together a nice little video for them, and the judges loved it. All their comments were positive. So we are going to hopefully make it. Because we need the money.
Baby.
We need the money. Come here, babe.
We have to toast 6 times because we made it into the top 6.
Yeah.
And then toast 1 time so we make it into the top 1.
4, 5, 6. My school is having this startup competition for businesses. The mentor that they assigned to me said that, hey, your product is just too expensive. You got to bring the price down. So that really motivated me to start looking for a cheaper alternative to manufacture it. So I went on Alibaba and I thought, okay, well, you know, let me look in China. And I was a little hesitant, but when I started reaching out to manufacturers, to my surprise, they all spoke English and they're like super energetic and really wanted to work with me. So I really didn't have any issue talking to them and really finding a manufacturer that I felt like had similar products size-wise to the one that I wanted to make. The manufacturer I chose only required $3,500 for tooling costs. And I could bring the price per foot down to about $1.25. Another benefit to the startup competition was they required me to write a 15-page business plan. It was great because I really had to sit down and really like crunch the numbers and just kind of work through all the different objections and everything that I would face as when I would start this business. Almost there, guys. You excited?
Getting nervous, but I'm
a
excited.
little nervous too. Luke, how you feeling? Luke's carrying this group. He's gonna be speaking on the best part of it. All right, Molly, looking good. Excited?
Yes.
All the judges are gonna be sitting right here. We got FootSlide up there. We got this. We got this.
Could you please welcome FootSlide?
Hello everybody, thank you for this opportunity to present our product FootSlide to you. We have created a product that allows you to slide standing up. We hope to show you this morning that there's incredible market demand for this product, that this product fills that demand, and that our team is prepared to bring this product to market. Please enjoy this short video.
We made it to the top 6 of the competition. Luke and Molly showed up and they helped me in my presentation where I felt like we really did a good job of presenting it and talking about the problem that it solves. They announced the winner starting with 2nd place, which we didn't win. Then they went on and announced the 3rd place. We didn't win that. Well, I thought, well, maybe 1st place, because I felt like we did a good job. We didn't win that. I was like, oh man, what's going on? So the judges gave us feedback, and I remember one of the judges said, this is just a lawsuit waiting to happen. And I remember just thinking, like, I'm trying to avoid lawsuits. Like, yeah, people could fall and get hurt, but I felt like I was fulfilling that need in the market so that people wouldn't get hurt on slip and slides, Another one said, hey, this is just a licensing thing, you know? But like I had called like every company I could think about to try to license this, you know? And so I really thought about it afterward, and I think what really happened was the other teams were meeting with these judges on like weekly, and I just couldn't make those meetings because, you know, I had a job, I was working. So they had built that relationship. One of the teams that beat us was these guys that wanted to do these like t-shirts with these logos and hats with logos. And I remember thinking, man, I could go to teespring.com and do exactly what they're doing in the same day. I didn't feel like they had put 1/100th of the effort that I'd put into my product. But it is what it is. So at this point I was pretty much dead in the water. Without an investor, that was it. But thankfully, my dad came to the rescue. Our dad's great. My dad had just sold a condo and he had some cash, and so he gave me an investment of $22,000. So I got to work with my Chinese manufacturer. They would send me samples and I'd give them revisions, and we would be going back and forth. And I felt pretty confident because with that manufacturer, I was able to get the price down enough where I could sell them for about $35 for 15 feet, which I felt like it was a pretty good price. And finally, the shipment arrived. I had it delivered to my mentor's warehouse, where I rented a U-Haul and transported it to my parents' backyard. That whole thing was just quite the process and learning experience. I mean, to think about it, I had product shipped from the other side of the planet to me, you know? And this manufacturer had never really made flexible PVC before like I required. And so when it arrived, a lot of it was just damaged because of the shipping. It got kind of, you know, it was kind of warped and got moved around during the shipment. Yeah, but I mean, most of it was good. It was usable. By the time this shipment came, the summer was pretty much already gone. So I knew I had to wait till the next year, which was 2019 summer.
We are headed to San Leandro. It's like kind of near San Francisco. As you can see in the back, oh, not the TJ Maxx Marshall's back, but there's like a lot of stuff back there, including FootSlides and turf and different things, because Philip's gonna film with some YouTubers that are gonna use his product and showcase it with some YouTube influencers, so it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is our last hurrah, you know? Been working on this thing for years, and like,
Sorry, not holding
really need to launch it, need to get it out there. This is kind of it, you know? So I'm here with Aaron, the founder of Braille Skateboarding. Aaron, we're so happy to be here, man. Happy to have you. This is just an honor. And question for you, what's one of the biggest obstacles that you've had to overcome to get where you're at today?
Well, it's getting over the idea that you can't do it. You know, growing up, you say, like if you were to go and tell your friends or your parents, yeah, I'm gonna be a skateboarder that makes videos for a living, just, you know what kind of feedback you're gonna get. Right. That's a bad idea, you need to go to college, you need to like keep your job, what are you doing, what is wrong with you? So you have to get over those ideas and you have to just go for it anyways. It's really that. And you're kind of struggling against the idea that you can't do it, right? Yeah. I think anybody can do it, and if you love what you're doing, that's what you should do, and you'll do it.
Awesome, great advice.
It takes a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
Right? As you know. Oh yeah. You make videos. Yes. So you know it's a lot of work. Yeah. But it's fun work, you know?
Yeah.
Starting the shoot over here.
We're super excited to be here today with
FootSlide.
FootSlide. His name is actually Philip. I know you thought it was FootSlide, but it's Philip. I'm sorry. It's true. And we're going to, would you call this like the world's longest slide on your feet?
Yeah, I mean, you could make it that. I would definitely say though it's the world's first stand-up water slide.
Okay, stand-up water slide. I think we just set it up and I'll ask you like 1,000 questions.
Sounds good.
I see that you have some grass.
Yes, so this is designed for the grass. We don't have any grass here, so we brought some turf to simulate grass.
So you don't necessarily have to have grass.
You don't, but we recommend it because it's softer than falling on the pavement.
That's true.
And you will be falling today, my
friend.
You think so? Oh yeah.
You think so?
Oh, it's slick.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It is?
Oh, it's slippery. It's butter, bro.
But you're gonna do this, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's a pro at it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess we're gonna grow grass in the asphalt parking lot. I think we should put this more like in the middle, eh?
Oh, wow. I'm so excited. Don't they feel different than you'd expect?
Yeah. Hold on, we're doing one at a time. I ain't crazy.
Okay, all right, we'll just start with one.
The difference between FootSlide and a slip and slide is that FootSlide is a thicker plastic than a slip and slide. It has an arch that runs down the center to guide the arch of the foot down its path.
Oh!
And you just step onto it and then you push off.
Step on and then push off.
Yeah, boy!
To promote it, I started doing research and I found this YouTube channel called Braille Skateboard. And I felt like the viewers of that channel were pretty in line with my product and they'd really understand it and click with it and hopefully want to buy it. Most of them were located in California. For me, that was good because of the shipping costs. The FootSlide video did really well on their channel. To date, it has like over 800,000 views. One guy that was there that day, he had this like really fancy camera that shot super slow motion. So he got some really cool pictures of FootSlide. I spent about $2,000 to promote it with them, which was actually, I think, a pretty good deal. But unfortunately, when that video launched on their site, we got all these hundreds of thousands of views. I only sold around 5 FootSlides. I put all this time and effort into this slide and I just pushed through so many obstacles and got a patent and done all this stuff and yeah, it was supposed to work, you know. This was supposed to be my break. This was supposed to give me financial success, you know, and it didn't, and it failed miserably. Yeah. So what was next? Well, at this point in my life, I was now married and I knew I wanted to start having kids and I needed to start providing more financially. So I just kind of, you know, put FootSlide to the side and started focusing on my career and moving on. I was standing in church and it was during worship service and the pastor asked, does anybody need prayer? And I put my hand up. I don't even remember exactly what it was that he asked if we wanted prayer for, but I knew I needed prayer. And so all these people around me gathered and they put their hands on me and they're praying for me. And I just felt the Holy Spirit on me and I started getting hot, but not uncomfortably hot. And I just remember all this like just sweat just started pouring off my body. I looked at my arm and I saw like beads of sweat all down both of my arms and like my clothes just started getting drenched within like just a couple of minutes of them like praying for me. I just felt like I was just like, God, like, you know, I think I had my hands up and I was just like, God, like, I just felt like I was just releasing this to God, you know. I just was like, you know, I've taken this far, God, and I can't take it anymore. And I'm releasing it back to you, God. And I just felt so good after that time. And then shortly after that, I was sitting on the couch in our little 400 square foot garage converted to a studio in Pasadena. And we had just finished watching the movie called I Can Only Imagine. That movie's about this man who grew up with an abusive, alcoholic father. Despite all that, this guy persevered to follow his dream of writing music. And he ended up writing that song, I Can Only Imagine. And when he released that, it just propelled him into financial success and fame. It was an awesome story. And I love that movie. After it ended, I just kind of sat there and I looked over at Molly. She was sitting on my right and I just said, babe, why does he get to reach his dreams and I can't reach my dreams? And I just started crying. And I got up and I took like the 3-step walk over to our bed and I laid down. And I just started crying. I mean, I was just like heaving. I mean, it was guttural. It was like deep sobbing. I think the best way to describe it would be that I was crying with my whole body. And I started sweating again. And I felt like it was like the end of a relationship. And I was like letting it go again. It was just so intense, but so life-giving. And I felt just so good to just let that out and that primal crying. I am getting a little emotional. You know, I couldn't tell this story before without choking up and without getting real emotional, but I finally feel like it's been long enough that I can just share it and I feel fine. Almost fine. So why did FootSlide fail? Well, I think it was a combination of things. I think that the final product wasn't as good as that polyurethane prototype that I had, which was much thicker and more sturdy. I also think I could have marketed it better, and I think I could have sold it through Amazon marketplace, because the shipping cost was pretty expensive, even to the Southern California area where I was shipping out of, let alone other states. I mean, I remember this lady called me from like Alabama, and she's like, hey, my son saw the video. He wants me to buy him one, but on your website it says shipping's $40. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, like it is $40. I don't think that FootSlide's completely dead. My family stayed at a cabin recently, and my daughter was walking across this inflatable surfboard. And I remember thinking, man, this thing can be like deflated and rolled up, and yet when it's inflated, it's super sturdy. So I started researching it, and I found this fabric called drop stitching. So it has all these little fibers in here, and that's what keeps the rigidity when it's blown up. So I thought, hey, why don't I make a version of FootSlide like this, so you can collapse it and then like really roll it up good. That way it's like super cheap to ship. It's maybe like this big. So there's that. I don't think it's dead, because I just remember how much fun it was when I was riding on it, when those kids were riding on it. Like, there's something there. I think what amazes me the most about this process was just the fact that I had something in my head, an idea, and through just pure perseverance, I took that idea and I developed it, and I ended up making it into a physical product that I put out on the market. How many people can say they've done that? And I'm just so grateful to my family, to Molly for supporting me through this, to my dad for investing in me, for my brother for his referrals, for everybody. And that guy that he referred ended up doing our product packaging, which I thought just turned out amazingly. Like, that guy was just so talented. Things that I would change if I could go back. Well, I think obviously now that I've gone through the process, I could do it so much faster. One thing I think I would change is recently I was at Home Depot and I saw this cord hider. You put your cords through it, and I saw that they had some like sideways support in that thing, and I was like, oh man, I wish I'd seen that earlier. I could have incorporated that into my design to just help it be more stable. Would I go back and tell myself, hey, don't do this, it's not gonna work? Absolutely not. I learned an incredible amount through the process, and I just know that when I'm old, like, this is a story I'm gonna wanna be sharing, you know? I felt like this was a shot I took, and I feel like I really only regret the shots that I don't take. And I'm happy I tried. I'm not happy I failed, but again, I just learned so much through this process. One thing I'd like people to understand about this process of inventing is that there is so much of it spent behind closed doors. Like, I spent hours and hours and hours in my parents' garage working away, building molds, testing different harnesses. Like, you know, this is just one that I popped out of a mold that I made. But I mean, I had dozens of these. I spent so much time on the little details that, you know, people would just think, oh, you made it, you invented a water slide. Like, oh, yeah, it must be easy. Like, no, it wasn't. It was hard. I had to do so much, and it really wasn't glamorous. I realized, like, that's the kind of stuff that really sets you apart, is when you're willing to do the mundane, grinding away work that most people aren't willing to do. It was definitely a surprise, just the pain and kind of the shame. You know, it sounds funny saying shame for something like this, but you know, sometimes I find an old box of like the FootSlide stuff, and I just end up throwing it out, and it just kind of hurts. You know, it's just like, you know, because I got people excited. I got myself excited. I invested time. I invested money. I put my career on the side because I was gonna make it on my own doing this business idea. You know, there's so much I put into this, and it didn't work. And I feel like it's kind of like a relationship that you lost, you know, and it hurts. But as time goes on, it doesn't hurt as much, and that's why I'm willing to share it today. I really hoped you guys at least got encouragement out of this. You know, they say go follow your dreams, but they never tell you the pain that you'll go through if you do that and your dreams don't work out. But I think it's still worthwhile to follow your dreams. Because had I not tried it, I wouldn't be any better off than I am today, you know? So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, talk to you guys later. Bye.